And ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula saying that the party's NWC will report to the National Executive Committee on the recommended future for the Provincial Executive Committees in KwaZulu Natal and Gauteng. The party met with the KZN PEC today, while a meeting with the Gauteng PEC is expected to be held later this week. Let's chat about this further now to political analyst Sandile Swana. Mr. Swana, good evening to you, and thank you so much for your time. The ANC Secretary General saying that they know what needs to be done in KwaZulu Natal, and this will be communicated by the National Working Committee to the National Executive Committee, of course, for then, agreement there. And they say that they were there, of course, you saw, after the elections, but they are here again. Does this signal that possibly this is a very difficult matter to attend to, especially the province of KwaZulu Natal and Gauteng?
Well, thank you so much, Bongiwe. The province of KwaZulu Natal has been, for the longest time, outside the capabilities of the core leadership of the ANC. They have not known how to manage KZN, and for that reason, it was JZ who was eventually sent there, and it was JZ who put who got the province of KwaZulu Natal under control. The ones who are in Luthuli House now, who are in charge of the African National Congress, as I look around at them, none of them really has got any competitive edge relative to JZ and the MK party, which has brought them into disarray and is going to continue to do so.
So what does that mean then for what they say they want to do, which is to reorganize, reinforce and rebuild the ANC in KwaZulu Natal?
Well, in the villages there, when we were involved in stick fighting and other fights, there was a time that you say, you retreat, you run, actually. There's a time these guys are on the retreat, they are running now. There's nothing that they are going to be able to do. Between now and 2026, they need to accept that they are a small party in KZN, try to reorganize from scratch, because the foundation they built on in this period of post-apartheid period was not a foundation that was independent of JZ. They don't have a foundation in KZN that is independent of JZ. Right now, they've got to run and hide.
What about in Gauteng?
In Gauteng, they've been beaten by everybody. And they've been losing left, right, and center. They are a 30% party in Gauteng. Between now and the next election of 2026, they are not going to do anything. They've got to try and hold on to their 30%. There's nothing they can do.
So in light of that then, because he says that they've got some options. One of the options is to augment the PEC or a disbandment or reorganize the entire structure. How do you see it play out in both provinces?
Success in anything, long-term success, comes from building institutions, not personalities. The ANC has been brought into disarray by the cult of personality. They went to the Free State. The Free State is not a top-performing province. They put Dugwana there, and they did all sorts of things. It's still a mess. It's just a mess as we speak today. So the ANC now has had a culture for some time of building not the institution of the ANC, building personalities, and some of the ANC members, the majority of them, belong to people. Ramaphosa has got his own people, Mandasha has got his people, Sorenso has got Mashadile has got his people, Sorenso. This is just a mess. They must rebuild the institution, remove the counter-revolutionaries, remove the careerists, remove the criminals who are currently dominating the ANC.
So, listening to what you're saying, are you saying that they are reacting too late to a problem that started early on?
It started many decades ago, and they've allowed it to develop. Mandela warned them about this in the 90s. He warned them about this, and Cyril Ramaphosa and Thabo Mbeki did not take the decisive action to kick out all these pseudo-politicians and pseudo-freedom fighters who are running the ANC now.
So what happens then? Because you look at a province like the Free State, you've just said, you look at various other provinces. The Secretary General earlier on saying that it's a silly debate, that, they are being asked to look at other provinces because he believes that in other provinces they simply dropped. But in these two provinces, they lost serious ground. And he says it's a silly debate to ask them to look at other provinces as they are doing these ones. What do you say?
I'll start at the bottom of the country, in the Western Cape. When these factions of the ANC started, they lost the Western Cape, and they've never regained it. They could have said it was just a small drop when they lost the Western Cape, but they have no prospect of regaining the Western Cape. Coming to the other side, they've lost the Northern Cape. You watch the next election and the next election, they are going to be dropping and dropping and dropping. They've lost the Northern Cape, right? Now, they've lost Gauteng. They are not going to recover Gauteng. They've lost KZN. Unless they make a deal and rejoin up with Zuma or whatever they do, there is no other solution. They are going to be a small party in KZN going forward. So they don't have a track record of recovering lost ground. When they lose, they lose. And that is because the leaders of the ANC spend more time not building the ANC, but building their personal estate and building their personal wealth.
So his analogy that they were able to recover after COVID?
Recover where? It's not in the statistics. If you look at the IEC statistics, which I visit from time to time to remind people of what has happened, since they had the Polokwane conference, they've lost the national vote percentage every year, and they've started to lose municipalities, especially in 2016, where it was devastating. From there, it has gotten worse. So, now, when they got to 40% in this election of 2024, in the previous 2021 election, they got 45. So there were already signs that they are going below 50% based on elections. They have not regained anything.
So when you look then at the Provincial Secretary of KZN and what he's had to say, and other people who are saying that the ANC not only lost in these two provinces, it actually lost even at a national level, and the national leadership should actually take much more of a responsibility than what they have done before. Would you agree with the sentiment?
I have warned the nation of South Africa and the members of the ANC that Ramaphosa is entirely unsuited to lead this country and to lead the ANC. It is a mistake to keep Ramaphosa in office in the ANC and also in the country. So Mtolo's analysis, I've listened to the verbal presentation, I've read the articles about it. Mtolo is spot on, spot on. And the ANC at NEC level is largely unfit to lead the ANC itself. These people, the standard has dropped substantially. Those of us who've been looking at the ANC for a long time, the standard is probably at its lowest. We thought Zuma had lowered standards. Ramaphosa has taken it to unknown extremes.
So what does it mean then? Because this is a party that's talking about renewal. This is a party that's looking to 2026 to try and reclaim lost ground. And then at the same time, you think about what you are now presenting as the odds that are stacked up against it. How should the NEC then be dealing with this particular issue?
Ordinarily, let's say this was the board of Anglo-American or the board of Pick and Pay, and you are the chairman of this board, you would ask the board members and yourself to submit their resignation to the shareholders.
So you say the NEC must resign?
I am. They are useless.
Wow. Okay. Mr. Swana, let's see what happens then, because, I mean, at that NEC meeting, as they talk about this, and, really, this issue of collective responsibility that we've seen in the last couple of years that they've been talking about, a number of people are saying that it doesn't seem to be taking place right now. But let's see then what happens when the NEC then meets, and even with Gauteng itself, to see if they're going to then be able to present these different scenarios, and what do we then have when it comes to the other side.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's political analyst there. Sandile Swana, he says the NEC should resign. You heard for yourself there.